game day are not going to be fully grown on the last day of fall or on the last day of spring. Okay, we'll wash that down now. Then it'll be easier to see all the bits to service. And very nice army green tractor. Oh, okay, yep. I will look on Discord a bit later for questions. And our little Ivor Williams trailer loaded up with sheep food. I can probably turn the engine off. I'll go through the motions of servicing now. Tab. Okay, that's all done. Now, how much wool is in here? 2,300. Okay. That has no wool. That's interesting. No wool. This should have about 2,300 to 1145. Okay. So for some reason that pallet, whatever field that's linked to, is producing more wool than this one. And that might be sheep health. The health of sheep in this field is 80% for the most part. The health of sheep in this field is 87%, so I kind of expect them to be making more wool in this field. It's interesting. 251 to... So that field has 1 sheep's in it. This field has a few more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's 8 to move. This one has 330. Again, top field is 80%. And sheeps are not fertile or male, which are obviously not fertile, so they don't list anything, whereas that just says they need to get older. So we've got 339 sheep born this year so far. Pretty sure we got nothing left in the silo. 0, 0, 0, 0. Oh, I've got spelt and triticale. Ah, I didn't sell my triticale, I didn't sell my spelt. What was I thinking? Mistakes were made. Spelt. Yeah, see, peak price was there. I could wait a couple of days. Triticale. Again, peak price was there. We got a lot of triticale. Oh my goodness. I should have sold that 6 days ago. Oh. Well, that's a bit of an annoyance. So it would appear that these guys are not producing wool, which kind of they're fairly new. They're also not eating a lot of food. Oh, they're not eating, yes. I forgot all about that. So the food that animals eat is based on how heavy they are. So the sheep in this field is, 10 pounds for the newborns. I think the heaviest are 30 pounds. Production 0 wool, but estimated food 323,000 for a year. I don't know. That says 287,000 for the year, and that one says 283,000 for the year. But these are heavy. I must admit, I thought animal food consumption was based on their weight in part. Age and weight, or age determines weight and weight determines age, or no, something. Anyway, let's... Welcome to Challenger. Let's take my big yellow tractor and go plant some grass. Okay, where is... Oh, we've got to do something about that header too. This is the planter. I am running the Quick Look mod, which does... Actually, I think the Vehicle Enhanced Driving mod does the forward and back look while you're in the cab. Actually, I don't need to shut them. So if I switch the tractor to reverse, it looks backwards. If I switch the tractor to drive, it looks forward. The Quick Look mod in Farm Sim 17 used to do that too, but it used to do that in or out of cab. Okay, grass. Oilseed radish, that's the grass. Gonna have to put on super strength to do this. That's something I might take a look at doing. Farm Sim 22, I may just look into using a skid steer. Generally I don't use skid steers. I find little use for them. Telehandlers a little bit more useful. But I'm kind of thinking maybe a skid steer would be useful. Oh, that's cool. This is just doing a straight feed off all the seed that happens to be sat there, which I wasn't really expecting. Okay, where are we going? We are going to field 46. 46 is probably at the top here. They want us to plant the field next to the castle again with grass. Okay then. I think I did that last year, but okay. And I did top off the tank. We have recently serviced this, so straight down to the store then. Again, so much driving down to the store. But I think I did feed to the sheep about lunchtime, which is why food is not significantly lessened. And probably, actually, another reason we might not be getting wool is I just put those 330 odd sheep in that top field at lunchtime. Just finished it. What would it be? Probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon game time. So the game seems to have some element of, if a field doesn't have anything in it, then I'm not going to look until overnight. It's the whole season's reset point. It looks at fields and decides which fields it's going to add a growth stage to, which fields are ready to harvest. If you planted a field and the temperature is sufficiently high enough, did the seeds germinate, and if they didn't, what patches didn't germinate. Is there any income to be added from the BGA? All that sort of stuff happens at midnight. So with sheep at this time of year, we get is the sheep mature enough to have babies? Is it pregnant right now? Okay, make this one pregnant. Percentage chance, random chance that a sheep will become pregnant during the breeding season. And then as soon as the breeding season is over, the sheep that are pregnant then work through the pregnancy until they have babies. So, excuse me, there is, what do you call it? There's a season, there is a point in the season where sheep, animals get pregnant, and then there is, that didn't tell me. And then there's a point in the season, there's a duration of the pregnancy, and you sit. Sheep will appear in your fields until all of the pregnant sheep have had their children, and then you have to wait till the next breeding season for sheep to get pregnant. But they don't all get pregnant on day one. It's a percentage chance. Same with cows. Same with pigs. So you buy 10 cows and 2 of them might be pregnant the next day, but you don't buy them pregnant. And I'm guessing that since I didn't have any sheep in that Oakfield farm field, it's not producing wool in that field. Now tonight when it does the reset, it'll say, I have 331 sheep in this field. This field needs to be producing wool at the rate of 331 sheep. And it could be that the other 2 fields that we have, put that on cruise control, and supposed to, there we go. Okay, seeders run at 9. So these other 2 fields, Elmflower and Bramblewood field, are quite possibly producing wool at the rate of 350 to 400 sheep at the moment, because that's how many sheep were in there this morning before I transferred them all up to Oakfield farm field. At least that's my guess. Out of interest, what's the cow pasture called? Oh, Oakfield farm cows, Oakfield farm sheep. Fair enough. Now we know. One thing I do not want to happen at this point is for us to run out of seed before we finish these 2 contracts. So I really don't want to buy 2,100 litres of seed just to do contracts. Though that said, this is the 2nd year we've planted grass in this field. For some reason, the owner of this field decided to plough in all the grass and replant it, which is kind of weird, because this being a tourist attraction, if you're upset that the tourists walked all over your fresh grass, they're probably going to do it again this year. Not that I'm complaining, I get paid to do this, so yay. Yay, paid. And this is another one of those fields that I'm not even sure it was a field on the Oxygen David version of this map, but it definitely wasn't a field that carried contracts. The footpath into the trees there. Ooh, trees. I wonder who owns those trees. Something I haven't done recently is cut down trees. And we do have a logging trailer. Well, we do have the logging attachments for the Johnson trailer. But oh, the other thing I was considering, I may lease a truck and animal attachment, animal trailer attachment for the truck in order to move our sheep to the store, because we are gonna have, I'm guessing, probably 100 young male sheep to sell this year. That's going to be a lot, and that's going to take a lot of journeys at 12 sheep per journey in the Johnson trailer. We could do it, it's not going to be a hardship. I might consider leasing a larger vehicle just to get that done. Anyway. And we've also got to figure out the foraging aspect of what we're planning this year as well. Cheapest way to do it is get a tractor hauled forager, but that can get very frustrating because they're not very big, and I still need to haul a trailer behind it, preferably one that's easy to offload. So I usually use something like the sugarcane high tip trailers. I'm not sure that's particularly prototypical for a UK situation. Although I do know an American farmer in or a real life American. I don't personally know the American farmer, but I know a real life American farmer who has a tractor hauled forage attachment and uses a high tip trailer to collect the chaff in, and then he'll tip that into a truck to take back to the silage bunker. We could do that, or again I could lease a big forage harvester, maybe a small forage harvester, and do it that way. I was considering replacing the loading wagon with a forage. Oh, that tree's floating. With a forage wagon. Forage wagons tend to be quite big and lots of capacity, which would be good. I'm only planning on foraging potentially two cornfields this year, or maize fields this year. The fields themselves currently have barley in them, so hopefully we'll have an early summer barley harvest with still sufficient time to plant corn. It's the other thing I'm not sure about. If you forage corn, do you have to plough? No, if you harvest corn, you have to plough. It's one of the 4 crops you have to plough after. The others being potatoes and the 2 sugars, I think. Sugar beet, sugar cane. That's not to worry. We have 2 ploughs. We have a big plough and a small plough. The big plough I usually set off on a worker to just plough the main field, and then I'll go in with the smaller plough on one of the, well, on the case, because it's our sort of big field tractor that's not a huge field tractor, and tidy up the edges of the field and do the bits that the worker missed. But that'll be after we've harvested the corn. I think we may also need to lime both of those fields as well after the corn harvest, just because that will be approximately their 3rd harvest. So we've already harvested the ones. I don't think I limed them. I definitely didn't lime the one we bought. And then the one I put, I actually planted my own barley in. I probably didn't lime that either, because everything that I owned got limed in spring last year. So it's just the new fields we have to consider. I suppose if I sold the Triticale, I could pay off the debt immediately. And I probably could have bought another field, possibly. So I think there's 300,000 litres there, and at best price that's going to return about 250,000. As I said, mistakes were made. I should have been paying a little bit more attention to the crops we had on storage. Probably not going to worry too much about the spelt. We're going to have a spelt harvest, 2 fields of spelt next year, or this year. So that'll just be an adder. We had Triticale last year, about 300,000 litres, wasn't it? Let's have a look. Yeah, 300,000 litres of Triticale last year, so potentially we should end up with similar in spelt this year. Which will be good. That'll be 500,000 between the 2. Triticale, current best price 622. Spelt not worth quite so much. But then let's try to get this straight up again. We look at crop values. Triticale 700, see, and we're currently looking at 600. So we could potentially get £150 per 1,000 litres more at best sell time. Now the other thing is there is another peak in mid-spring. Not as good, but that we might be able to take advantage of that. and then if it's what is it? If there's a great demand, you might be able to take advantage of that as well. Although great demand doesn't really mean lots of value. It tends to mean the value that's there is not going to go down when we sell a bunch, and 300,000 litres is a bunch. So the problem is you take 70,000 litres to the store, and then it takes you 20 minutes to go and pick up your next 70,000 litres. The price could drop. But great demands, the prices are stable. They're not the best they can be, but they're stable. So you can sell a lot of crop when there's a great demand and get the same price for all of it. Is that just the second headland only? Oh well. Guess we'll go round this way, because why not? And lift. And drop. This is kind of fun. Sort of like doing a Japanese rock garden. Or whatever they're called. That was not the greatest. Anyway. And the thing is you don't have to get it all as a